Women can't get bulky from lifting weights unless they take steroids. Their hormones do not support the growth that men do. The biggest misconception you see in the fitness industry is when women look at other women that are incredibly fit and think that that woman just lost weight to tone their body and then look that way, when in reality, that woman trained her ass off.
So would you say like to that? Because obviously me and Taze, we train like men. So, and you're someone with a background with parents of bodybuilding. I know you train as well. So I've heard so many girls like, I don't want to lift heavy. I don't want my arms to get big. I'm like, no, like, so there's a misconception that women think that if you lift heavy, you just get hench.
I think it's just a lack of knowledge.
Okay.
And when I speak to actually a lot of black men, I have to say black men for what I'm about to say, they say it's very disappointing that not as many black women train properly or hard.
Yeah.
I think it's changing kind of now.
Yeah.
But as you're like Eastern European or you're like white girls or you're like, do you know what I mean?
Is it recording?
Yeah.
No, I'm blessed.
No. Oh, yeah, we'll just cut it out.
I thought when people get here, they actually get a shot of tequila. Is that not a thing?
We used to drink back day, but the problem with that is when people drink, sometimes...
False advertising.
Yeah, no, it's not even that.
Bad business acumen.
See what I'm saying? See? Feces on the wall. The problem is, when people drink, is they go away from the pod and then they remember what they've said. And then you start getting texts and phone calls. Hey, you know that bit? You know that bit,
Just
yeah?
get them to sign a thing, innit?
Yeah, but the problem is...
It still creates bad relationships.
Yeah, because remember, if you tell me to take something out and I don't, you never come back on the pod again. And then you're going to tell people, them man, don't... Like, it doesn't make sense. So just...
Yeah, the industry's sensitive.
Yeah, the UK is mad sensitive.
It's actually pathetic.
So everyone just be sober and say what you want to say, innit? And that's it.
Should I read out a question?
Oh, you read through, innit?
Mm.
Let me...
Some juicy ones, man.
Yeah, but you know, it's not gonna lie. None of these were for you, Taze. They were for us to like.
So you see all this space.
Hello.
Does it go on?
Nah, don't worry about it, because I can cut out.
No, I was just asking.
To be fair, it's
I've got some videos to play actually as well, to be fair.
What, for us to watch? And comment on?
Unfortunately, not
reactions?
Nah.
Oh, I did.
That would have been sick though.
Yeah, but...
Did I just give you some knowledge, business acumen? 5%.
Lynn's on a roll, you know.
Hello? But now I've got some videos, so after that...
So this question...
Actually, no, do you know what? You're someone that works out. Your dad used to be a bodybuilder, innit?
And my mum, yeah.
And your mum? I didn't even know that. All right, let me play this video, yeah? Because I've spoken to a lot of girls about this, and you'll hear it through the headphones anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Women can't get bulky from lifting weights unless they take steroids. Their hormones do not support the growth that men do. The biggest misconception you see in the fitness industry is when women look at other women that are incredibly fit and think that that woman just lost weight to tone their body and then look that way, when in reality, that woman trained her ass off. She ate like a man, trained like a man, pushed themselves every single day in the gym with...
She can't hear nothing.
Yeah, can't hear.
Have you been hearing anything?
No.
What?
That is, oh my God, Lynn.
So the whole 2 hours you've been here, you ain't heard nothing?
Nah.
You didn't want to say nothing?
I didn't. I can hear you outside.
Oh, come on, Lynn, man. That's bad business acumen.
Yeah, see?
Bad business acumen.
No, it's not my skill set.
You know like them TikTokers,
It's not my
man.
skill set.
You just
not my area.
set up the camera and they're standing there.
It's not my area of expertise. I'm not a podcaster, sorry.
All right, so basically it's a guy talking about women in the gym, but I'll just play it anyway.
Women can't get bulky from lifting weights unless they take steroids. Their hormones do not support the growth that men do. The biggest misconception you see in the fitness industry is when women look at other women that are incredibly fit and think that that woman just lost weight to tone their body and then look that way, when in reality, that woman trained her ass off. She ate like a man, trained like a man, pushed themselves every single day in the gym with heavy workouts and then cut off the fat and now look like that. They didn't just avoid the weights, do a little bit of cardio, hit a couple Pilates classes, some yoga classes, and then next thing you know, they got a bum, nice back, and a good body. That's not how it works. The women that you want to look like probably go to the gym and train like men.
So would you say like to that? Because obviously me and Taze, we train like men. So, and you're someone with a background with parents of bodybuilding. I know you train as well. So I've heard so many girls like, I don't want to lift heavy. I don't want my arms to get big. I'm like, no, like, So there's a misconception that women think that if you lift heavy, you just get hench.
I think it's just a lack of knowledge.
Okay.
And when I speak to actually a lot of black men, I have to say black men for what I'm about to say, they say it's very disappointing that not as many black women train properly or hard.
Yeah.
I think it's changing kind of now.
Yeah.
But as you're like Eastern European or you're like white girls or you're like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what did he say at the beginning? That a lot of men take steroids or?
No, he said that women are not going to get big like that unless they take steroids. As in, you know, like when you get the women that are proper like...
I don't know. Like I've stopped training as an isolated muscle group. I've stopped training chest because I do get top chest if I do. I naturally have like defined traps. So I try to stay away from exercises that are, again, isolated around my traps because I will get that, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's not completely right insofar as it depends on your genetic makeup.
Mm-hmm.
You can, again, I don't do as much as like how my legs are. There's women that probably push more than me that they won't get their legs as big as how I can get them.
You got genetics as well, though, innit?
So that's what I mean. So I think genetics does play a role. And you know, that conversation of like, oh yeah, the natty conversation, there are some freaks of nature. There are some men who naturally can, but the majority of bodybuilders or the ones that maintain a certain level of size, but look dry shredded, they're on something. The majority.
just saying it out like that.
No, they are.
I hear it.
You cannot be as shredded and dry shredded all year round and maintain a level of mass. You can maintain a level of mass, but you will look a bit fluffy. That's the reality. If you want to have that dry cut while still maintaining the mass, you're going to be on something.
Why do you think that, obviously things are changing now, run clubs, women doing like, because I think with women, I was speaking to a girl yesterday, one of my friends, and we were talking about body types, and then she was saying that she wants to get like stronger, but she was talking about a lot of her friends saying that a lot of them have kind of changed how they want their body to look now, that they want to look more like slim. And I'm like, it's interesting because you see with men, like I can't speak for Tazer, but I'm sure I can. Whatever body that Tazer's wanted, he's wanted from like, not a boy, but as in, man just wanted to be big or, do you know what I'm saying? Whereas women, it seems like it changes. Like 1 minute they want to be like...
It's trends.
That's what I'm saying. But
I think it is changing a little bit with men as well, because I've spoken, and I think with men...
What, men want to be skinny?
No, with men, I think it's more connected almost to careers and the social circles that they want to be around, be in, and how they want to be perceived. So a lot of, specifically like black men or Asian men as well, let's throw in white men as well, a lot of men generally, when they are adolescents, like early 20s, maybe they weren't that kid in school, they want to have that mass. They want to be respected and revered, like, raw, like my man's huge.
Yeah.
Maybe certain things that they do, whether that's like on the road or athletes or whatever, they want to look big, right? Then you see that same group of men potentially go into professional careers, or they want to start going into meetings where the men who they may want to invest in their business are not like that. And that actually looks quite like scary and intimidating. But also the style of dress with certain men change as well. So you see men now wanting to wear a bit more tailored outfits, nice shirts, so on and so forth. And then you realize, okay, I still want to be shapely, but I don't want to have that massy look anymore, because that massy look for men and women doesn't look classy, in my opinion.
But I think it's a bit, I get what you're saying. But
like the huge look. Like you look stupid in a suit, innit? No,
100%, but most men are not huge. I get what you're saying, but I feel like the reason why it's a bit different is because you see with men, it's like, as you get older, testosterone lowers, man can't even gym like man used to, so naturally...
Sperm gets weaker. Sperm gets weaker.
All that. So naturally, your physique is going to look different from your 20s, 30s, 40s. It's going to change. But I'm saying, but those men are not like saying I'm changing because society is looking at everyone differently. Whereas women, it's like, this is in, so I want to look like this. the wave changes. This is in, now I look like this. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
But
very different.
I also think there is a level of like, we have to accept that women's currency
Is a beauty.
is how we are perceived and look from a superficial level.
Yeah.
And men, as much as they'll often deny this, they like the clothes and the Dior's or whatever, you get dragged along with the trend. So I'm also hearing men now tell me that they would have liked the BBL look, and now they don't like the BBL look. It's like, that's looking tired. It's looking godong. It's not looking as classy. It's like, now they want a woman with a bit more like tone. Don't get me wrong. You still need a bit of shelf on the bum, but you want it a bit more sophisticated and tapered. And
But you know what's mad? Sir, do you know what's mad? Like, men have never liked the BBL like that. As in, like, yeah, if a BBL is done really well, yeah. But remember, a lot of the time BBLs, they're not done well.
But that's with everything. I think when men say they don't like makeup, no, you don't like it to look like it's makeup. You like a natural beat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, you don't like weave because you don't like the idea that it's wiggy. But a weave done well or extensions done well, you will like it. You'd rather look at a woman with full hair and movement than a girl with stringy, thin hair, but you don't want it to look like a wig. So I think there is this misconception that men don't like fakery. No, you don't like it to look fake.
Yeah, but then that means you don't like fakery because it doesn't look fake.
No,
it looks real.
The majority of that can't be true, because a lot of women who are fake are getting the certain caliber of men. They're getting a certain amount of likes. They're getting a certain amount of attention. And when I'm looking at certain natural girls, they don't get that attention unless they're 10.
The reason why...
Do you know what I mean?
But
a natural girl, to get the same level of attention, has to be a solid like 9 or 10.
But the problem is women equate attention to value. And the reason why it's not, because look at most women that are married, it's not these girls that wearing the bare makeup and whatever. It's just a regular next door girl.
Marriage is not a good indicator.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about,
because I know some oppressed, battered married girls that the men want them to look dead.
I get that, there's the same with battered models and sexy girls in inverted commas out there that whatever. I'm just talking about, generally speaking, when women talk about men liking this and whatever, I'm like, yes, but you got to look at who men choose as a whole, not who you can see.
What do you mean by choose though? Because, okay, I'll give you an example. I know men who are married and the marriage is loveless and soulless and they're going to cheat and treat their side women better than their wife now because they look like what we're talking about.
Cool.
So how do you...
I hear that, but I know a lot of men that are married and are treating their missus fine and they're happy. And I'm saying, and I know a lot more of them than that. So I'm saying, in terms of our lived reality, most of our friends, like, not in a rude way, but not every one of my brethren is a worldie, the handsomest man in the world. Not every one of your girlfriends is a worldie, but they're in relationships. And that's a majority of people. So what I'm trying to say to you is, there's this misconception that this model or this BBL or this pinnacle of a woman is what all women should look like because all men are choosing it. But most men are not choosing that. Most men feel uncomfortable when they're with a girl when the bum's too big. Like, I've seen guys in clubs like talk to girls and like, oh man, it's too much attention, man. I don't really...
But then I think the same can be said for the conversation of like when women may like to have a fun time with a certain type of guy, but when you look at who she settles down with, so like I put my hands up, I can admit it. It's not nice. And if I could do things differently, I would. But when I was younger, guys that would spend the most amount on me, I'm never gonna touch or be with. And and a lot of them probably felt a level of resentment. But the ones who are taking me to shopping Selfridges and spending £500 in a restaurant, I'm not gonna be with you.
You're looking at what in the long term, this is irresponsible.
Yeah, but also because their whole demeanor is very like, I also understand the transaction. As in you like me for superficial. The moment I turn on my in-depth person and let's talk about some real shit,
you're not here for that.
You're gonna be like, you're pretty and I wanted to take you to dinner. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna come for dinner. But
that's you understanding the game.
No, but what I'm saying is the same way how you're like the one in relationships or like attention, just because men are getting to take out a certain caliber of woman
Oh,
doesn't mean that they're actually going to get, like, it's like what you said at the beginning of the conversation. Guys are dropping amount of money. We don't talk about the success rate of a lot of men. Don't ever think just because that a lot of men are taking women shopping and spending on them that they're actually getting
I know.
the
I know.
puswali.
Trust me, I know.
A lot are not.
I know.
And men are still lying on names.
Exactly. That's why we don't have the convo, because no one's telling the truth.
Yeah, it is.
No one's telling the
Because
truth.
most men with an ego, and most men do, are gonna feel stupid. I saw you out taking da-da-da. I saw you flying da-da-da. I saw you.
But the reason why is because the conversation's flawed from the beginning. You're assuming that because someone told you on another pod that they did this and it worked, but they're probably lying already. So from the top to the bottom, everyone's lying. Everyone's just lying.
So the whole thing of just because you may want to be around that person because they're fun or momentarily doesn't necessarily mean, going back to all these relationship people, we can do that too.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fucked.
So, but going back to the whole like women want to change, it's a lot of media controls women's thoughts around it. But that's why no one should be opening up their body to do nonsense when all these BBLs are going to be dead in the next, like, they already are dropping off.
And some of the procedures are mad.
Yeah,
Like,
it's dangerous, man.
It's not all the same.
The mortality rate is very, like...
It's not the same.
I'm when they go to tell me it's not life-threatening. I'll put the phone down.
But a lot of them are
That's
getting the injectables.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The injection.
Even that thing,
Did you
there's
see the video of Shea?
the video of Shea Bar where the girl was trying to kill the spider. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, you're not on the gram like that. She's trying to kill the spider, and then it's like in a salon where they're doing like, you know, like not procedures, but like injections, whatever. And then the girl just pans to the left, and there's a girl on the bed on her front, and she got these big cupping contraption on each cheek. Like obviously it pulls the cheeks. So obviously when you get out, you know, like when people used to do that thing where they put their
Oh,
thing
yeah.
and it makes the lips
It makes
big.
it swollen. What, for one night only?
I don't know, mate. I
What
don't know.
nonsense is that?
But she just on the bed like.
Apparently the cheeks stay like that as well, you know. Just mad stiff.
For how long?
I don't know how
But
long.
a lot of women are stupid as well, because I'm hearing a lot of women now say like, oh yeah, all these men, they take me this, and like their image is that of the fast turnover. And they're like, oh, I don't know what happened after 3 months. It was
Take me seriously.
like, they're not taking you serious.
But you know what's mad as well about some women as well, like, they don't have personality.
Men don't have personality either.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So that's like, yeah, so I'm not saying they don't. That's a difference. I'm not saying men do.
Yeah.
Some men do, but
This
I'm
is
saying
a new thing, though.
but people assume that like we go on a date and we see each other for 3 months and you're gonna assume that you're cool. When I disappear, you're gonna be like, why did maybe
You're boring.
you're boring, or maybe your personality.
Would you not have a conversation?
No, yeah, but it depends because remember, I don't think you can really teach. Like this is the wrong word. You can't teach lit.
One of the biggest issues I think with men is they think they're doing women a favor by just being silent or disappearing. And yes, it may dent her ego for all of the day, but men need to like grow some balls and say, you know, darling, don't really see this progressing beyond what we've done. I'm happy to give you some feedback.
That's a job.
Lynn, that's not going to work, man. Come on,
Not
man.
in that way. I'm not saying in the way.
Nothing sexual.
No, I'm just saying.
As a
Okay,
person.
I'm saying.
Lynn,
Okay.
you know your gender, innit? Like,
No.
If I tell a girl, listen, like it's not working, like, but like, do you want to let you know like the reasons why it wasn't working? Like most women,
It doesn't work like that. Be honest. Be honest. What happens is,
Mm.
the messages get less frequent.
Yeah.
And then you get them kind of semi-essays like, at the beginning, da-da-da-da-da. That's when you should say, listen, I'm going to be honest with you because you deserve that. I respect you.
Okay.
There's a few things that you did and I can't really look past it. And I want you to know this so you have some level of closure. So I don't really see you in that way. If you still want to get to cracking with some fun, we can do that. And that way, you guys will not be like, have that drama that you lot have.
Lynn, I don't think you understand.
The way you worded it sound cute. I can't lie.
It's not going to
But
work.
It doesn't
work.
land.
Have you tried it?
Yes, I've done it.
Don't
before.
lie. Don't lie.
I swear
No,
to
you
God,
haven't.
I can show you. Do you know what's mad, yeah?
I can show you fast.
I can show you messages on my phone right now.
How'd
yeah?
you do it?
And no, where like you've told someone like, listen, it's not working, whatever. You see girls, yeah? Girls do not like rejection. Like, you see man them don't like it either, but there's a level of, if you're a sane guy, you've had rejection, you just have to hug it and move on because you've got other options in terms of possibility, in terms of, I walk down the road, I speak to someone else, another bus is coming. But with women, it's like, a lot of them, you're not used to rejection. So when they get it, it's like, they're startled. Like, so
men, you need to push through. Like, you need to push through that and ignore that, because this is how I see it. Girls are going to raise hell anyway. Like, if you go silent, are you not getting, why are you doing this to me? Da, 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 da. Do you not get hell anyway? So what you need to do is just push through it so that there is a level of change that women start to, men complain that we're not accountable. Yeah. How can we be accountable if you're not telling us what we're doing wrong? But
we do tell you, and you see men, we have learnt behaviour. That's why, you know when you used to watch the shows back in the day, when you see like the husband and the wife's going on and the husband just like, yeah, I just don't.
He wasn't like that from day one.
He was.
It's over time.
Over time.
But we feel the same though.
It's over time.
We feel the same though.
He says to himself, this ain't worth it, man.
But can you admit that there is a level of repetition with women as well, where we don't want to nag. We didn't begin nagging. And it became that way because you guys, you're either brushing off what our desires are, what we want from you, or you just don't rate it and take it seriously.
I saw a video one time where the woman was moaning about the guy leaving his shorts on the floor. Yeah, she's like, "Why are you leaving your shorts on the floor?" Mm-hmm. The camera panned, bare makeup on the side, bare brushes.
But has he ever raised that to her?
But my thing is he never raised it. But are you mad?
But that's another thing.
Like,
no,
you've got bare stuff out, but because I've got like you see the problem that I have with relationships.
Do you not think everyone doesn't mind their own mess?
No, I get that, but Lynn, my problem here is like,
do you not think that?
Why have I got to make something obvious to you? Like, for example, that's like Tazer getting on to me about something. That's like Tazer saying, like, Tazer's camera's there. That's like Tazer saying to me, like, Marv, like, come on, man, guests are here, and you just got like your iPad just there. Come on, man, put it away. I'm looking at man like,
you think that, but do you know what it is? Yeah, people need to realize that I don't believe that you should have to like tell someone over and over again. Yeah. That's what will show a level of like care, consideration, and maturity. But you'd be surprised at how many things that may not bother somebody and may bother someone else. And that's why I said in the beginning, compatibility is very important, because usually when you're compatible, similar things will bother you or you'll like together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes I may raise something and you're like, why does that bother you? So again, an example with my ex, maybe because he was a bit younger than me, but he's from that generation of wanting to unpack everything. Whereas I'm from the generation of like, okay, I pissed you off, I'm not going to do it again. Like, let's move on. Or let me make a joke out of it. Whereas he would want to send really long messages and then, okay, I'd read them, but then my response might be 3 lines. He's seeing red.
Yeah, but you're
So my thing is, in his world, maybe women around him think, oh, that's amazing what he's doing. You know, he's really unpacking.
He's letting it out.
He's letting it out. I'm really understanding how his mind works.
You sound opposite.
She sounds like the dude.
You sound like the dude and he sounds like the woman. Because that's what women do. Women send you when women send you like the long, do you think I'm reading this? Do you really think I'm reading this? I'm reading the last 3 lines.
In his defense, I do think there is an imbalance of where men completely just shut off and women do too much.
Yeah.
I tell my friends like, bro, he's just had a long day at work. Why is he going to read this essay? Like, he's probably reading the first 2 lines and the last 2 lines and hoping he can get the gist.
Yeah.
So I do think that there does need to be a area where we both come meet in the middle. But like I said, he probably talks to girls maybe before me where they're like, this is amazing. And I'm like, most guys love that I'm just like 3 words, hold tight, will not do it again, sorry babes, come get some. Like, you know what I mean?
That sounds like heaven, mate.
That sounds like good
brother.
night.
You see, brother, come on, man. You see the man, we just want accountability, man. Like, that's all I want. Like, you do something wrong, my bad, babe, sorry. We're up to anyway.
Yeah, but
then we're living life.
I need to be honest about something though. Sometimes I would actually say,
however.
No, okay, what about this? Yeah? And tell me what you guys think about this. Okay, what if, yeah, you told me you hurt you told me that I hurt you,
Yeah.
just something I said or a little whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, I will apologize because of how you feel, but I don't genuinely think what I said was wrong.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Sorry.
No, I've had that before.
Because there's other people that I have said this to and they're calm with it.
No.
And that's fine.
So
But I'm
then-
telling you about me.
I don't want that.
Okay, but because I've said it and I didn't know that upset you, does it make what I said wrong? Like, so
No,
you
no,
want me
no,
to be
no, no.
accountable?
I want you to. I want you to stand on what you've said. I'd rather you say, babe, like obviously how it made you feel. That wasn't my motive, but I'm standing on what I said because I believe in it.
That's
I'd
what you
rather
said.
that. No, but
But
I don't.
then that's not accountability, though, is it?
I don't want to.
Is that accountability?
Yeah, because because remember, if we're having a
What do you mean you don't
conversation,
wanna- why don't you want to sorry?
no, because she doesn't mean the sorry.
No, I can.
You know what I'm saying? No,
I
no,
can.
because no. Remember, I might not be annoyed at how she said it. I might be annoyed at what's been said.
If I said
So if
yeah,
you're not sorry for what's been said,
Now, hear what I'm saying.
we saying sorry for.
Now, hear what I'm saying.
You know
Imagine I've said to an ex, yeah,
Yeah.
well gone, pussy, oh, yeah,
Don't
and
know.
he finds it funny, but I say it to you, and you're like,
Yeah,
I
don't talk
feel
to me
like
like that.
I feel like deep, like that's a big disrespect.
Yeah, can't call her pussy. Yeah.
Now I'm seeing, that you're really. I genuinely am sorry that you feel that way because someone else or my brother or whatever didn't feel like
Yeah.
that. So I am sorry, but I'm not gonna say like what I did was wrong. It's only wrong if I do it now again because
Yeah.
you told me how it makes you feel.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the difference.
Yeah, no, I hear that. No, that's fine because at the end of the day, you didn't know that there's a boundary. And then that's like you
Yeah.
saying, oh, babe, I say it to my brother all the time. I didn't know that. But obviously now I know, I won't say it again. That's different because although you haven't apologized for saying it, you've apologized in another way in terms of, do you know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
No,
But I'm talking about
It's
when
how I made you feel.
But I'm
The
talking about,
apology is how I made you feel.
yeah, but I'm talking about when it's something that's like, there's a disagreement about something and you're not sorry for what you said, like in the moment, like as in you've...
Analogy, quickly. Analogy.
So you might have said something to me like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something. You might have just said, how can I think of something?
I need to understand examples because I hear it all the time. Women are not being accountable. So give me a scenario where all the women, like generally speaking, there's a pattern of us not being accountable about certain things. And how are we not accountable?
So an example of that could be we have something I tell you, I say to you, I don't like you doing this. And you say, cool, I won't do it again. And then you do it again. And then when I pull you up on it, you start to tell me about stuff from before. I said, yeah, but I get it. But the reason I done it was because, like I'm anxious and allow me, bro. Allow me. That's not accountable because you understood before. When I said don't do it, you didn't give me this spiel before. You should have given me the spiel then. But now it's happened again. You're kind of looking for an excuse as to why you done it and why, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so basically what women tend to do is they package it in context, but this time it's different.
Yeah, or you know why I'm like that?
Like
It's because of what, like, and it's...
You know why I'm like that is crazy,
Yeah, it's crazy,
What do you mean? Yeah, I know why you're like that. What?
It's annoying still.
So when you say you know why I should know why you're like that, that means the next time you do it, I should just accept it then.
No, but then again, it goes back to people are not looking at their compatibilities. So there are certain things that you may be like that. And do you know where the most difficult thing is? Where you came into a relationship and you actually like this version of you. And there's certain elements that your partner, well, I don't like that. And where it gets frustrating for both parties is, but you like it. And that's what the reason why you don't make an effort to change is because you actually see nothing wrong with that element of you. It's your partner that does. Do you know what I mean? And where that is the scenario or the case, it's very difficult for a person to change if they fundamentally like that person. So for me, I know certain things that a man may not like in me, but because that element of me has made me successful, I may find that hard to change
Yeah.
because
it's part of you.
you
isn't
have
it?
liked me in this successful form.
How do you think I got there?
All right. Do you understand? So that's when it's like, you knew how I was. But I'm just talking about maybe lifestyle things, not actual character flaws. You would hope to find a woman or a man that before you even got with them, they say to you, and that's why it's important for men and women to have this conversation, do you know your flaws? What are they? Are you trying to change them? So when you have that accountability conversation, you can say, remember when we like first started dating and you said you know those flaws? So why are you now telling me this is how I am? It is how you are, but you wanted to change that shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? But those conversations I find are not happening. People are getting into relationships based on vibes, even based on like, yeah, but they got a good job, they got peas, they got this. Those things don't matter when you're actually talking about day-to-day living with somebody.
Facts. That's true. Mm, you're right.
Any more questions?
No, it's fascinating.
Did we answer the question? Did I read the question?
No, I played a video.
Oh, yes, we didn't get to the question.
No, we did. In terms of we answered, it was a no. Did we read that? No.
You said
no.
you're gonna play a video.
We did play the video about
played
the
the video?
gym, and then
Oh,
the
and then we did a
conversation went from
whole
there.
circle.
Yeah. So you can either read that or I could play another video.
Did you give me a...
Yeah, you should have a new card there. Yeah.
Oh, what's the biggest man? Okay, what's the biggest lie men tell successful women? And the biggest lie women tell themselves.
About men.
The biggest lie men tell successful women.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest lie.
That their money doesn't matter. It blatantly does.
Yeah, and I would say, in addition to that, they don't care that they're successful.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? I don't know. Like I feel like I just think it's how you maneuver. So, for example, like if me and you are dating and you're more successful than me and you're earning more money than me, that shouldn't be a problem. But it depends on how you flex around me. Like if you're dropping like certain things like, I don't know, man. You're letting it be known you earn more than me all the time, or you're letting it be known how successful you are around me. It's like, I get it, babe. Like,
What if you're receiving it that way? What if she's talking to her girls, she's like, I got a brunch in this place next week, and I got to go to fly to this place.
If you're talking to your girl, that's
she's just telling you as a man.
That's not the same thing.
lifestyle.
No. What I'm saying
That's
is,
not the same-
what I'm saying is, she's just speaking about her lifestyle.
That's not the same thing, because if we're having a conversation about your schedule,
Wait.
it's not the same thing.
No, what I'm saying is, she could just be speaking about her lifestyle, but it makes you feel insecure.
Is there aircon on in here?
Probably.
Yeah, it might be.
Can't we turn it down?
Yeah.
Oh, please. Yeah, thanks. How do we do it? Do you want me to get up and try?
Nah, it's cool. I'll get them wrong.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, guys.
It's just, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, remember, at the end of the day, if you're having a conversation with your missus and she's saying that she's flying to Geneva or she's doing this, whatever, that shouldn't make you feel away because she's letting you know what she's doing. I'm talking about like certain things
Like
where,
you can't do this.
yeah, like we all know about how like certain guys who have certain things, the way they talk, you're like, all right, here we go. He started again, and he's like,
But what if it is a level of, because this is what I tend to see a lot and have experienced, right? That when a guy is interested in a woman that is a level of successful, doing her thing, it's all very like, nice and shiny and like she's on job.
Yeah.
And then what may seem like stunting to you may be her going up a notch and being so like proud of herself, where she might be telling you things so you can be proud too. You're like, babe, guess what? Oh, do you know what? I can go like Mercedes and get this, or I can like, I'm buying a new house, or da-da-da-da.
But that should never, as a guy, that's what I'm saying. If that's a problem for you, then that means you're insecure, because at the end of the day, life is about ups and downs. Even with my parents, there's times where my dad was out earning my mum, and then there's times where
I think
my
that's
dad went
okay,
down,
though.
and then my mum was out earning my dad.
I think that's okay when you get in the relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm of the belief that you should come, especially in this day and age, come in similar.
Okay.
Like you're never going to be on the same,
Yeah.
but come in that it's not so
Different.
far apart.
Okay.
Once you're in the relationship,
Mm.
then once you're in love, you understand that you could be on your face and a good partner will lift you up or
Yeah.
support you, vice versa. But also the issue is, and I've seen so many of my friends have to do this, yeah, and we have good intentions. Like we genuinely feel for the guy, that we know the funds are not really there, right? So what we'll do is we will try and adapt our lifestyle that will make him feel comfortable, but
I
inadvertently
don't think it
makes him
does.
feel uncomfortable.
That's what I'm saying.
So what we'll do, we'll say like, we might be a restaurant. And he said he actually wants to take me out. And I feel guilty that we're here.
So you'll pay.
No. So
Oh.
I'll kind of like, he knows that I get, yellowfin sashimi every time. But I know the funds are not there. So I might get a light little calamari.
Yeah.
And then it angers him
Yeah.
that I'm watching out for his pocket.
Yeah, but then don't.
So just...
But you ain't got the funds, bro.
No,
No, but that's not fair. Can I tell you why that's not
Here,
fair?
I've taken you to the restaurant, babe.
Nah.
She's being considerate, though.
No,
No,
because
no.
it comes out later. I'll tell you why. I've actually had this where, okay, then later in an argument, do you know what I had to do? Like, man had to... But...
Man had to do purple tailed sashimi. I said it's yellow, by the way. But
No, but it's a difficult one. That's why I honestly think,
yeah.
if, like I said, once you're in the relationship and a man falls on his face, that's different. But I don't believe, no matter what men say that they can handle it, a man with ego and pride will struggle with a woman that can do more than him, has more than him.
Yeah.
And even though he may overtake her,
Mhm.
later, that trajectory has to come fast. Otherwise, the frustration is going to be there.
Do you think society, though, has put in, obviously because of everything that's happening, we got a roundup actually, Stu. Do you think society is putting more of an emphasis on finance? Because a long time ago, when you looked at roles of the man and the woman in a relationship, like it wasn't just financial, it was provision, it was stewardship, it was all these different things. The mum was maternal. Like there was all these different things, whereas now it looks like it's just, I earn more than you, you can't bring nothing here. Like it feels like that, as in like, if I'm a guy and I earn more, then I gain the respect because I earn more. But if I don't earn a certain amount, there's no respect.
I think men have done that to themselves. Men lead society.
Mhm.
Men moved away from other elements of masculinity and obsessed about money. All we did as women was follow. So whether we look at, like whether we
Mom looked at me like, what?
Because I heard the click, I was baffed.
whether we look at entertainment, whether we look at business, entrepreneur, like it was you men that started this obsession with, I get money, I get bread, I want to like, even in the last 5 years, I only started hearing men say, I need to make a mil, I need to make 5 mil. Where did this come from? You can live a comfortable life without being a millionaire. So because you guys have started to lead with that, we're just following you. And the thing,
you say
no,
that.
listen,
but-
I'll tell you what, let me land. So
Mhm.
before, all women want is to feel they can look up to their man. And because we live in a capitalist society where money is the main denominator of that masculinity, which men made, right? That's the main focal point. But if men still exuded masculinity in other areas other than finance, we wouldn't even care about money as much. So I'll give you an example. If I earn a bit more than my man, but the way my man comes into my house and says, rah, the shelf, the light, the this, I've just got into your car, them brake pads are done. Okay, I'm gonna book that in and sort it out for you day after tomorrow. Like those sorts of masculine leading points, then I don't think we would actually care about money as much as we do.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't think it's as simple as that. Because even when you talk about masculinity and what men done and whatever, it's just I hear what you're saying, but the conversation is crazy because you're saying it's what men done, but do you know, it's like the way like some people make things sound is like me, Taze, John Major, all of us sat in a room and said, right, what are we going for what we doing with men? This is what we're doing. But I was just born and this is what's happening is the going rate. I've had to like literally fall in line with what's going on and work out. But remember, as much as men have done certain things, women have done certain things, especially in the West. If you look at like countries like Russia, China, they're still the elite and you can still see what happens over there. But in the Western world, like it's very much social media, whatever, that women know their worth in terms of beauty. That's why even you see OnlyFans with like, I saw a crazy stat of OnlyFans. It was like, what was it? Something mad, like 80% of OnlyFans was married men. the subscribers. So I'm saying, in terms of sex sells in the world and beauty sells, and men have realized that I haven't got to speak to you for 3 months. I just got to show you a Rolex. I've just got to show you a nice car and it's all done. I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm saying, so with society, there's so many different things bounce off each other.
Any woman that should be considered marriage material, partnership material, wouldn't think like that. I don't know any, like, in terms of the girls I do know like that are chicken heads. Like, if a girl literally like determines a quality man by a watch, or I'm not going to lie, yes, it looks nice for a watch to sit on a wrist, but that's nowhere near the determining factor of whether I want to sleep with you, be with you. 100%,
but I'm talking about in terms of, like, when you in any environment you're in, there's always a hierarchy in it. Wherever you are, whether it's a business, a company, a rave, wherever it is, there's hierarchy.
But men started that. Like, if you look at most businessmen, when I was like interviewing millionaires and stuff, they understand the social currency of, okay, I'm going to wear the Patek at that board meeting tomorrow because I know the men will respect that type of Patek versus, like, men, this whole idea that women just do this, we only started doing it because you men did it.
No, but women do it as well. Women know that.
But where did we get that from? We didn't even know what a Patek was.
I'm not talking about Patek.
I'm just giving you
I'm talking
examples.
about a woman might go somewhere and be like, all right, I'm going to wear something that's maybe a little bit lower here, show a little bit of cleavage. I might wear, like, we both do it in different ways in terms of to peacock. Do you know what I'm saying?
But you're saying this is a new phenomenon. It's not.
No, I'm not saying it's new.
Oh, okay. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
It was worse historically. You know, this whole idea of women are so materialistic that no, there was a time where you wouldn't even be able to talk to me or date me unless you went to my dad and my dad would say you are broke. You didn't even get to talk to my daughter. It was worse. At least you guys can talk to us now.
But back then, that was... The issue that I have is what you're both saying is correct, by the way. But back then, it was known that that's what I had to do. Yeah. Like, I knew I had to do that, so I wouldn't come to your dad without it. Whereas now, what we're hearing now is some people are pretending it's not a big deal.
Can I tell you why?
Okay, go on.
The reason why there's a lot of pretense going on is because men do not respect women and their opinions to judge adequately for themselves. So when a father used to tell you, you have to go away and do X, Y, Z and come back, you wouldn't be like, you're a gold digger of a dad. You wouldn't question it. You'd be like, I respect it. You might be a bit angry, but you would respect the level that the dad set for you. So you either go and find a lower caliber woman or you build up so you can come back for his daughter. Yeah. There'll be no questions. Now, what's the difference between...
women are the ones saying it.
What's the difference between me saying it? If I told you right now, go away and up your money a bit more, then come back, you'll be like, who the fuck do you think you are?
It's a bit
I'd rate that though.
That's a bit different though.
Why is it different?
It's a bit different because
we can't value ourselves, but a man can?
No, it's not that. But remember, in terms of, like, that your dad is the person who's protecting you in it. So in terms of custom, I come to your house and let you know I've got good intentions for your daughter, whatever. You're just like, all right, cool. You kind of vet me. I'm not saying that the woman can't be correct in how she's saying it, but I think it's just certain messages from different people sound different. I'm not saying
just confirmed what I said.
No, but no.
Like, literally.
No.
You just basically said you don't.
Do you know what I hate when people like? I just hate when people just laugh sometimes. It's bad because it's like, it's not even that.
No.
What I'm trying to do is it's nothing to do. Remember, for example, I can tell you something about the studio, yeah, but I don't own the studio, and that sounds mad. Whereas
you're even making it worse.
I'm not. Do you not get what I'm saying? But this is still my pod. Do you know what I'm saying? So I still have skin in the game. Whereas if Brent said something to you, it's from a different place. It's like, all right, cool, we own the studio. So I'm saying when the dad says certain things, the dad can be very forceful and harsh with certain things because there's no relationship here. I'm not having a relationship with your dad. I'm having a relationship with you. So I'm saying,
but you're yet to have a relationship.
I hear that, but how you talk to me is different. Your dad is different. Your dad, not that he can talk to me anyhow.
It's because you respect the authority and the protection that a father gives but you don't respect my own protection for myself.
No, that's not what it is. What I'm trying to say to you is, as a couple, how we speak to each other is very different.
But we're not a couple yet.
But with intention.
We don't know that.
Cool.
You've met me.
I've met.
Wait, hold on.
But remember,
is the issue with how she said it?
No, it has nothing to do with that. I'm just talking. No, remember, I'm saying that sometimes some things can come across rude. So, like, for example, imagine if a girl speaks to me and I'm just like, set your hair first, do your nails, you could talk to me. That doesn't mean I've got value for myself. I've been rude to you.
But if a man,
whereas if my
but
mum's
you're interpreting
No,
how
but-
a man would say it not as rude because you look up to him,
No,
and you respect him as an equal.
no, I'm not saying
It's rude coming from my mouth because you don't see me as an
no,
equal.
because remember that I wouldn't see the dad saying to you. I mean, I wouldn't say the dad saying to me, "You're broke, come back later." That's still rude. I'm just talking about dads being a little bit more off and being like,
All right,
Do
wait,
you know what I'm
wait,
saying?
hold
That
on,
makes
hold on. You're both going back and forth. Is the issue what's been said or how it's been said? Because based on what's been said, forget how it's been said. What's been said is, your money's not right for my daughter. Go back, work on yourself, come back. Go away, sorry, work on yourself, come back, yeah? Let's say that was said in the most polite manner, yeah?
Yeah.
You're okay with the dad saying it. What she's asking is, can a woman say that? Can a woman look at you and say, listen, you're on 120K, cool, that's cute. I respect you for getting that because obviously the average is like 27 or 30, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna need you to get to 200 before you date me. And she says it in the most polite manner. But that's what she's saying.
You're not accepting. No man
Yeah,
is.
that's what I'm saying.
You're
That's
gonna
what I'm
call me a
saying.
gold
She said it in the
digger.
most polite manner, but
You're
that's
gonna
what
call
she's
me a
saying. She
gold
said, no,
digger.
Yes,
my
but-
future
but
man.
you don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say
No, I'm
to
saying,
you
is that okay for a woman to
Yeah,
say?
ask, answer.
No, the reason why for me it wouldn't be is because, for example, her dad, I can associate myself with her dad because I don't have to live with her dad. That's not like I'm looking at her dad like
No,
We're
but-
not there yet.
Wait, no, you don't get what I'm saying. We are there because in this scenario we're there in terms of the dad. I'm dating you. Remember, the point you're missing is that me and you are cool. As in, like, it's your dad that's like the sticking point. But you love me. We're cool. But your dad's like, no, for you to marry my daughter or whatever.
No, you're wrong.
So one sec, there's no problem.
No, but
with-
you're wrong.
there's
My analogy,
what-
you've misinterpreted my. I said
Yeah.
what is a little bit confusing and annoying is that historically, a lot of men say times have changed. Women just loved us for who we were historically. That's not true. Historically, before you even got the opportunity to get to know me or me love you, you would maybe potentially hear of me or see me at a family event and want to approach my dad to get to know me.
Yeah.
We don't know each other. I don't love you.
Yeah.
So we're still at ground zero, stage one.
Okay.
You would have, or historically, all men had no issue with a man telling the man, you're not good enough for my daughter.
Yeah.
But now the agency of the man has been removed, the father. We're essentially trying to say the same thing. You're not good enough for me. And now men are taking anger at us saying it, but you respected it historically when our fathers said it. You did.
No, but the difference is you're doing the problem is you're doing modern day woman, with back day dad. That's the difference. In those days, you could.
We did everything.
Yeah, and in those days, I can give you a cow for your daughter.
That's fine.
I'm not giving you I can't come to you with a cow now and say, you'd be like, you mad? So I'm saying we're doing different times, whatever. Ideally speaking, if I went to a guy now, I wouldn't even speak to a dad before I speak to you. Me and you will be dating before I go to your dad. So what I'm trying to say to you is if me and you are dating and
But
we're
what we're
in
trying
a
to
good
say
space.
as women, you're not even going to get to date me.
No, cool. But what I'm trying to say to you is if me and you are dating and I go to your dad and your dad tries to bad me up, I can kind of like overlook that because me and you are cool. I can speak to you later. I don't really like your dad, but out of respect for you. Whereas if I speak to you directly and we're cool and you're like, you see what? Nah, before you can date me, but I'm thinking, what kind of bad up is this? Move, man.
But what
that's why I'm saying there's a difference.
I don't know why it's being taken as a bad up. Is what I'm trying to get at. Forget the bad up part.
Brother, just tell me no, innit?
No. But it's
Just
not.
tell me
Why
no.
can't we
No,
tell
but
you
it's
your
not bad.
finances aren't good enough?
But remember,
Because it hits your ego.
No, it's not.
Let's get
It's
it
not to do
right.
with that. It's not to do with that.
Why? Why can't I say you're? Okay, let me put it a different way.
If I'm dead, if I'm like,
Wait, Marvin,
if I'm like a weed head, and man walks up to you, a man looks dusty, and you're like,
You're doing what I did in the other. You're doing extremities. I'm not. Let's not be extreme.
that's what I'm saying. So I can't be ego if I'm
All right,
earning a
let me
good
put
wage
it.
and you earn more than me.
Let me put it in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm looking for a life partner to settle down,
Yeah.
right? And I understand this whole idea, which is another thing that pisses me off. Men want women that are traditional and submissive and all these things anymore. But women who are like that don't have to worry about bills.
Yeah.
Women used to be sweet and like head in the clouds because we didn't have to worry about finances.
Yeah.
The majority, going back to what the average wage is, the majority of man cannot afford a traditional woman. You cannot afford me to stay at home,
It's
us to have 2 kids on your 50K. It's not doable. So guess what? You have to learn to respect that I have a career. So if we meet, right, and I tell you, not from a point of view, I want to rely on you. And I think that's where a lot of men are annoyed because women all of a sudden want to do exactly what they want to do, live a wild life and still expect you to pay for everything. That doesn't work either.
Yeah.
But I'm just coming to you to say, okay, you're interested in me. I'm going to be honest with you. At the moment, my mortgage is three grand a month.
Yeah.
I've managed to do it on my own, but it is a bit hard. I have a great career. I'm looking for someone who can lighten the load.
Yeah.
And if we intend on having children, you're going to need to have a little bit more than me. By default, I'm going to be out of like my career for 5 years.
Yeah.
So if you're coming to me, let's say I'm on 150 and we've got to talking and you're like, I'm a train driver, so I've figured out you're on 70 or 60K.
Yeah.
I say to you, you seem like a really nice person, really good heart, but the functionality of our relationship isn't going to work because you're on a low wage.
But that's fine because remember,
You're okay with me saying that?
It's how it's said. But you know what I'm saying?
So how I said it now?
No, because remember, as I said to you before, remember if you came up to me and I was like, you see your
But
way.
no one ever said this though. Where
That's
did
what
you
I'm
get
saying.
this from?
Remember,
no one said that. What was going to be like, your dusty move with your 60 bags?
Not dusty, but it's just like it was when it was said, it sounded very dismissive and direct.
No, I said the man.
No, it did in
It
regards
did.
to the dad. But that's why I said
Yeah,
remove
but that's how the dad used to
how
be.
it's said.
But remember you said how the dad says it and the girl saying the same thing, and I'm saying they're both harsh. So I'm saying it depends on how it's said. If it's said in a particular, if you say it like that, man can't argue with that.
The difference is...
But if you're telling me how much you earn, that's not enough for me.
You start
to
laughing.
be with me. Sorry, I need a man that earns
no,
at least 250.
No, that's how it's said on social media. Though.
Come back and earn 250.
What, girls?
Yeah.
Come
That's
back-
usually how you hear
It's
it.
not real though. We
Come
know
back and
social
earn
media isn't
250
real.
and then you can
Do you know
talk
how
to
many
me.
girls... Again, I will never hot anyone, but do you know how many girls I see with big platforms that talk wicked and bad and I know the man they're linking? Like
Yeah.
it's not...
Yeah, I mean, we know that too. But
Exactly.
We're not,
So why
No,
are
but
we
we're not- no,
even...
but we're
Why
not-
are we even...
No, we're not listening to them. We're just saying that agenda is what's spread online. But what I think Marv was saying, I don't want to speak for him, but I think what he was saying is in regards to, he was focusing on how it was said.
Yeah.
And obviously how it was said will affect a man's ego.
But a lot of men, that's what I'm saying, and a lot of men I see also, whether it's real or not, on social media say, do you remember, like, women should just accept us for who we are. No, that's not reality.
Who said that?
No, a lot of men will say, why can't you just, like, I love it when women love me for me, not my money.
I can't lie, I've heard women say that.
What, not their money?
No, take me for who I am. Like, as in...
But again, these are these fictitious ideas. Like who you are is a representation of what you do day to day. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I thought social media has allowed people to create these fakeness that is like who you are in real life. As you said, them same girls that were saying men can't do this, that. My man's rolling into your yard at 3 a.m. every day, drinking from the bottle from your fridge.
You're
Mad.
streaming on TikTok at 3 a.m. making money though.
With a dirty yard.
Come on.
On that note,
Women can date men on lower though, but the man has to be masculine, hella masculine.
that's when
What?
that's when it's skewed, yeah, because it's like, I hear what you're saying, but
Otherwise, okay, she'll undermine you. I'll be real.
that's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
But if I
If I don't change your
have
brakes,
to pay for a man
Yeah.
to do all the masculine jobs, and I'm the one saying, babe, I've got the holiday in 2 months because I know, babe, okay, I want to go to this place. I know, I got you. Like, at what point, apart from dick, are you? What's your point in my relationship?
no, I hear.
She's gonna look at you like, you're my son.
I lie.
No, I hear that, but it's just like, so man's got to come in and say, man's got to be looking for stuff to do. Like, babe, let me check your car.
Naturally,
Now the brakes need changing.
Oh, come on, Marv.
Like, no,
Naturally
but
speaking,
man
if you
are
have a
looking
house,
for bare things.
do you live on your own? Do you live
Yeah,
on your
yeah,
own?
yeah.
Naturally speaking, at least a few times a year, there's a few things to do. Life is life, and there's always something to do.
No, what I'm saying, but what I'm trying to say to you is, it sounds like my masculinity is based on things I find to do. If I find stuff to do, then I'm masculine. If I don't find stuff to do, then I'm not
It's
masculine.
not
Do you know
fun
what I'm
things to
saying?
do. It could be something as simple as this, and I think men have lost the art of doing this. I grew up with a dad that sometimes my mum did earn more than him, but he was known as the solutions man.
Yeah.
My mum might be on the phone to my uncles, and my uncles have got a problem. My dad, give me the phone. I got that. I've sorted it. Okay, you need the van? Okay, 2 days. That's a level of, my mum would look at him like, he just sorted that for my brothers. It's about
that's
solution. Men
100%.
have lost the art, like women have lost their femininity,
But-
men have lost the art of being solution-based and leaders. So give us something to look up to.
100%. But then, do you know, like some women don't allow some men to lead?
That in itself is a sideman statement.
You say that,
Hear what I'm saying.
Like, for example, I'm single, but I'm saying that I've seen situations where like the woman just,
How can we stop you from leading? If you're a true leader,
yeah.
if someone is a true leader, who can stop a true leader from leading?
You say that. But
Behave, come on.
For example, like your mum, for example, yeah,
Yes.
is on the phone, yeah,
Yeah.
and she's talking to your uncle, and your dad's like, let me sort that. Your mum could be like, no. Yes, as I was saying. Do you know what I'm saying?
But then you should know.
Things like that. Whereas you're
There's only one type of woman. The only time a woman would ever do that is if she's allowed him to lead and he's failed multiple times. She has lost trust in him.
But you see,
Most women want to be led.
You see the problem with that.
We don't want to think. I don't want to think.
You see the problem with that statement is, yeah. Again, remember when you said about women not taking accountability earlier on, yeah. That's an example of it. Whereas like women can't. Women only allow men not to lead when they've failed. No, some women don't want men to lead because they're just too extra. Like you want to control everything. Sometimes, you know, some people just want to be in control of everything.
A woman only is like that if she has been failed with men not leading over and over again. And it could be her dad. It could be her, and that's not your fault.
Exactly.
I granted.
So imagine I'm in that scenario.
Guess what you have to do?
What's that?
You have to do proper background check. And background check is not finding out who's waxed in the group chat. Background check is finding out, does she have a father? How does she view men? How does she respect men? Is she a feminist? You need to do your background check.
I hear it. No. On that note, I hear it. I agree. I agree still. Thank you for coming, though.
Cheers.
Yeah, appreciate you for coming down, man. Breath of fresh air.
Thanks.
Need to come back, though. So there's definitely going to be feedback on this episode. I'll have to return.
Like,